Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and I'm officially over halfway done 75 Hard. So today I wanted to share what I have learned so far doing this program. There have definitely been ups and downs with doing 75 Hard this time around, and some days are more difficult than others, but I feel like I'm learning a lot about myself. And I'm learning things that I didn't learn the first time. I'm also relearning lessons that I had forgotten about. So just a bit of background if you are unfamiliar with my story. I did 75 Hard 2 years ago, actually around this time. I think I started mid-April last time, and I did 75 Hard. I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best things I've ever done for myself, and it was one of the happiest times of my life. So I absolutely loved it. But a few months after I finished, I got into a car accident and I couldn't really do any exercise for almost a whole year. So that really set me back, and I had gained a little bit of weight. I lost a lot of muscle, and I was just not feeling very good about myself. So I wanted to do 75 Hard again. I wanted to do it last year, but I was still recovering. And now that I'm fully recovered from my accident, I wanted to do it again. So I am on day 40 today as I'm recording this, and I'm down 12 and a half pounds, and I'm feeling so much better. I feel stronger. I think I look stronger. My mood is way better. So I'm just feeling really good, and I'm really proud of myself. So these are the lessons that I have learned so far. Number 1, once you learn to get uncomfortable and push through that feeling of being uncomfortable, it will become way easier. So the more that you get out of your comfort zone, it will become easier. It's really hard in the moment, and it's really hard the first couple times. But once you practice this, it just kind of becomes second nature to you. And when I say getting uncomfortable, I mean it in a few different ways. So this could be lifting heavier weights. It could be running faster or running farther. Or it could just be staying on track with my diet and not overindulging, not going out of my calorie range, or reading when I'm really tired. But those are the things that build discipline, and I'm noticing it becoming way easier for me. Number 2, what do I genuinely want? The other night, friends had this really good-looking dessert, and it was the first time in my life that I didn't care that I couldn't eat it. I had a really good snack before I went to her house. I made these egg white bites, and they were unreal. You put like maple syrup on them, and they're so high in protein, so low calorie, and they're really delicious. And I was so satisfied from that. I genuinely didn't care to have the dessert. And it truly was the first time in my life where I felt this way, because normally I have this all or nothing mindset with food. And if something that looks good is in front of me when I'm not doing this program, I need it. In my head, I need that food. And this has obviously caused a lot of issues for me with my eating. And I don't know exactly where this came from or why I feel this way, that if something good is in front of me, I have to eat it. But the other night when this happened, it really made me question, what do I genuinely want? Like all of those other times, did I really want those foods? Or did I just feel like I had to have them because it was this treat that I don't normally have? So it was actually a really cool feeling, truly not caring that I couldn't eat it. And this has been becoming so much easier for me with foods, and there's been a lot of temptations. There was some delicious cakes at Easter. Some of my girls that I coach have brought in cupcakes and cookies, and and all the treats, but I really haven't been tempted by them. So that is a really cool feeling. And I'm curious if it will stick after I'm done 75 hard, or if it's just because I'm in such a good mentality with 75 hard. But I'm hoping it sticks. Number 3, when you're doing something different, people will either cheer you on or go silent. And notice who does that. I have noticed several people either cheering me on or saying negative comments or not really saying anything at all. And I just find it interesting. And I know a lot of the negativity comes from other people's insecurities and whatever they're going through, or they have preconceived notions about 75 hard and don't really understand what it is or how I feel about it. But I'm noticing who is cheering me on and who is not saying anything or being negative about it, because that shows me who truly cares about me and my well-being and my success. And you can relate that to anything in your life. If you start a business and you're noticing these things, the people that cheer you on truly want what's best for you. And the people that are, again, either going silent or being negative aren't people that you might really want in your life because they're not going to be in your corner and they're not going to be supporting you. Number 4, I don't need to push 100% every single day because health and fitness is a lifestyle, not a short-term thing. I talked about this in last week's episode, I believe, but I've really noticed that I was starting to feel like I wasn't pushing myself enough in certain workouts, but my body has been really sore and I've been really tired because I've been waking up a lot earlier. And so I can't push myself 100% in every single workout. And that is okay because I realized this isn't just for 75 days. This is going to be every day of my life. I'm going to be moving my body every single day of my life, whether that's going for a walk, stretching, yoga, whatever it is, how simple it is or how intense it is. I'm going to be moving my body in some way, or at least I hope I am. So I think just shifting that mindset has been really helpful for me because it's helped get rid of that guilt if I can't do really intense workouts. And if you want to hear a more in-depth conversation about that topic, listen to last week's episode because I go into a lot more detail. Number 5, I love waking up early and watching the sunrise. It's been so nice waking up early. I've been getting up between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning, depending what I'm doing that day. But it's been so nice to wake up and get my stuff done while watching the sunrise. I just think it's so beautiful. And the days where I don't do that, for example, today I slept in a little bit because I was so tired, but I slept in a little bit and I missed it. And when I woke up, the sky was just like it's normal blue. And it made me realize like all the other times I've missed watching the sunrise because I've been sleeping. And it's something I truly enjoy and it makes me feel so much gratitude. And it just makes me so happy to see the sunrise and all the beautiful colors in the sky. And it's almost making me romanticize my life a little bit more. And it's something I really enjoy. And I really like waking up and getting all my stuff done before most people are even out of bed. It makes me feel really good about myself and it's making me a lot more productive during the day. Number 6, rest is so valuable. Obviously, during 75 hard, you don't get any rest days. And this is kind of how I trained before my car accident and as I was getting back into exercise the last few months, where I didn't have any off days. And I noticed at the beginning of 75 hard, I think I lost like 7 pounds in the first probably 10 days. And a lot of that was probably water weight and like bloating. But I was losing weight and then I plateaued right away, which didn't happen the last time. I pretty consistently lost weight the first time, if I remember correctly. but my body was so tired and it was begging me to just chill. And I actually got a little bit sick on Monday this week and I had to miss work. And I just felt so exhausted. My body was just so heavy and tired. And I could tell that I was starting to get sick. So I knew I needed a recovery day. So I did some at home yoga. I just looked up a YouTube video of yin yoga and I went for a really slow walk outside because I knew, even though I was feeling a little sick, that I couldn't not do my exercise because I would be having to start 75 hard over again. And I just felt so much better after, and it felt good moving my body too. And I think it actually helped with my recovery because I did some really good stretches with the yin yoga, and getting outside in the fresh air is actually really good for you when you're sick. So I felt really good after. And I slept a lot that day because I didn't go to work, and it just revived me and I felt so much better. So it made me realize how important rest is. And rest doesn't necessarily mean you have to do nothing that day. Again, it can be going for a slow walk outside and just enjoying nature. It can be laying on the floor and stretching. Whatever it is for you, you can do an active recovery day. And I think that is something I want to implement in the future because I realized how important it is. And after that happened, I broke my plateau and I started losing weight again. So before that, I was still plateaued at, I think I had lost like 7 or 8 pounds, and now I'm down to 12 and a half. And it's Friday today, so it's only been a few days. So I feel like my body just really needed that, and it can actually drive you forward. Number 7, I'm enjoying new ways of exercising, like going to rumble classes and hot yoga. I love lifting weights and running and walking, but when you're doing it twice a day, every single day, it can get a little monotonous. So I wanted to try new things. So I got ClassPass and I went to a rumble class last week. If you don't know what rumble is, it's a boxing class, but it's basically like nightclub vibes. It's like nightclub lighting and really loud music, but it's a boxing class and it was so much fun. I had such a blast. I was very confused and behind at the beginning. The instructor even came by and asked me if I needed any help because I clearly could not keep up. But once I got the hang of it, I was just having a blast. And even when I was confused, it was still so fun. I unfortunately couldn't go today because I changed up my upper body workout and I did it on Wednesday. And I am so sore. I can barely move my arms. Even when I was running today, my lats hurt so bad. So I knew I couldn't do a rumble class today, but that's okay. I'll go again next week. And then I've also been going to hot yoga. I went to a different studio that my friend goes to, and I had such a good time. And before, I only wanted to do yin yoga because I felt like I just needed some rest and recovery. And I don't always love flows, but the 2 classes I went to, the flows were so good. And I just felt so strong and I had so much fun. So I'm going to be doing that once a week too. So I had to alter my workout program a little bit, my workout schedule to fit these in. I'm going to change upper body days to Tuesdays so I can go to Rumble on Fridays. But it's been so fun to try new things, and I want to try a couple more classes on ClassPass as well, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. I feel like the app is a little bit glitchy, so if you have ClassPass, let me know and let me know what classes you would recommend, and if your app is glitchy too, because I can't look up any places for some reason. But it's been so fun, and I'm really happy that I am doing that for myself. Number 8, doing a 45-minute workout and going for a walk isn't that crazy. A lot of people who have made negative comments keep saying, oh, 2 workouts a day, like that's insane, that's too much. But a lot of people do this. it's only a 45-minute workout, which again can be yoga, or it can be weightlifting, or it can be a walk on the treadmill, whatever you want to do. And then you go for a walk outside for your outdoor exercise. And it's really not that crazy. I think it's made me realize that people, including me, make up this story in their head and make things a much bigger deal than they need to be. When in reality, if you just tried it, it's really not that bad. And I think this can be a lesson for a lot of things. We tend to make things a bigger deal in our heads, but once we actually try it, we realize it's not so bad. So I think I want to apply that to other things in my life as well. Number 9, I can be disciplined. I used to tell myself that I'm not a disciplined person, I don't have willpower, all these negative comments. But all that was doing was reinforcing that to where I wouldn't be disciplined and I wouldn't have willpower. But through 75 Hard, I'm proving to myself that I can be disciplined. I have been walking outside in the snow that was up to past my ankles, and no one had shoveled their sidewalks. And I had to like trudge through the snow, and it was snowing out. I was wearing snow pants and snow boots and a jacket and a toque. And if I wasn't doing 75 Hard, I probably wouldn't have pushed myself to do that. But again, it really wasn't that bad. And with eating healthy too, I've proved to myself I can be disciplined. Sometimes I don't want to eat the food that I have prepped, or I want to go out of my calorie range. But when I don't do those things and I stick to the plan, I'm reinforcing to my brain that I can do hard things and I can be disciplined. And once I get out of that uncomfortable zone and I do what I'm supposed to do, I feel so much better, and that uncomfortable feeling goes away. Number 10, small tweaks can make a huge difference. Again, when I first started 75 Hard, I lost weight and then I kind of plateaued. So, like I mentioned, I think rest and recovery had a lot to do with this. But also, I sometimes wasn't measuring my food. I was kind of estimating. And I think this made a huge impact because I started measuring again. And that's also when I started losing weight again. And then obviously having an active recovery day was really important too. And those tweaks weren't huge. It's not like I made this drastic change. I just started measuring my lunches and dinners. And before that I had been measuring everything else, but sometimes my lunches and dinners, and not always, it was just sometimes my lunches and dinners I estimated. And now that I am actually calculating it properly, that has made a huge difference. Number 11, I can push myself way more than I thought. This is especially true when it comes to running. I used to think that I could only run intervals and I could only run for a certain amount of time. But I'm proving to myself that that's just not true. I went for a run today, and it was the first run I did outside this year. I have been just running on the treadmill, but today it was beautiful out. It was like 11 degrees. And so I ran outside, and I think I was only running for like 5 minutes. And I went a little hard at first because I was feeling good. But after those 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, like I need to stop. I can barely breathe. This is so hard. And then I was like, no, I can keep going. This is in my brain. I know I can keep going. And I slowed down a little bit because I was running too fast at the beginning. But I proved to myself that I can keep going, and I did. And I ran for 25 minutes straight. And I don't think I've ever done that outside before. I've been doing that on the treadmill, but I don't think I've done that outside. When I used to run, I used to only run intervals. So I've never run for that long of a period before. And I even ran past the point where I needed to, because normally on my shorter run days, I walk for 5 minutes for my warm up, and then I run for 20, and then I walk for another 5 for my cool down. But this time I was feeling so good after the 20 minutes that I ran the last 5 instead of walking it, which was pretty crazy because after 5 minutes of running, the first 5 minutes I wanted to quit and take a break and walk, where clearly I didn't need to. So I pushed myself more and I ended up feeling so much better because of it. Number 12, I am so grateful for exercise. I have had no pain when it comes to any of the exercises I've been doing with running and with boxing, especially. I couldn't have even pictured myself doing a boxing class, especially one that intense, when I had my back injury, because there's no way I could have twisted my body or used that much momentum without pain. And when I did my Rumble class last week, I was, I feel like I'm going to cry because I'm just so grateful for my body. But I was looking at myself in the mirror at the Rumble class because I was right next to the mirror and I was watching myself hit the bag and I realized, like, oh my God, I have no pain right now. And it just made me so happy and grateful that I don't have that injury anymore and that I can move my body in a way that makes me feel good and that is fun. And there are so many people out there that don't have the opportunity to move their bodies anymore or move their bodies in a way that they want to. And we are just so lucky to be able to exercise. And that's how I've been looking at it lately of I'm just so lucky that I'm able to go out for a run, that I'm able to go out for a walk, that I'm able to go to a Rumble class or a yoga class or lift weights in the gym. Like how lucky am I that my body is capable of doing that? And I really wish more people would think that way because we truly are so blessed that we have functioning bodies that are able to do these things. Okay, moving on. Number 13, this one really surprised me, but I am wanting alcohol more than I thought I would and more than last time. So I'm not sure if it's because it's warmer weather, and usually warmer weather, you go out for a patio drink or have some drinks with friends. But I don't know what it is. And I would never jeopardize the program for alcohol. That just isn't even a question. But I was on my run today and I was just thinking, oh my God, a patio mojito sounds so good right now. And there's been a couple other times where I'm like, oh, it would be so fun to have some drinks with some friends today. And it really surprised me. And I don't know if I should be concerned or if it's normal, but I was surprised that I'm feeling this way. And I'm not a huge drinker. Like, I don't drink often and I don't have a lot of alcohol, but there's just certain times where I just want to have some drinks with friends. And I guess that is normal in your 20s and 30s, but it's surprising that that's something I've been thinking about doing 75 hard. Number 14, doing this program helps push me through the hard days, and I feel so much better for it. There have been days where I am exhausted, I am burnt out, I have been working way more than normal 40 hours, or I've been going out of town or with moving. Those days have been really hard, or something emotional comes up, something really hard comes up, and I'm emotional and I don't want to do it, but I know I have to. It's just not even a question for me that I have to get these things done. There's no way I'm failing this. And once I push through that and I do the exercise, I do the reading, I do the diet portion, I feel so much better after. And it's made me realize how often I give into it. And if I'm feeling uncomfortable or I'm sad or I'm tired, I would skip a workout or I would go get fast food or order food or I wouldn't read before bed because I was too tired. And it's made me realize how often I was doing that. And I think it made me realize that I wasn't as consistent as I thought I was. I thought I was pretty consistent and just doing those things occasionally, but this has kind of showed me that that's not true and I was doing it way more than I thought. So, pushing through those hard days has made me feel so much better and made me realize how much I was giving into those moments before doing 75 hard. And when I'm having those hard days, normally I would like I said, skip a workout or whatever. And I would kind of just wallow in those feelings and it would never make me feel good. I would always kind of get into this funk and get a little depressed or get anxious, but pushing through those moments and still doing what I said I would do has made me feel so much better and I get out of those funks way faster. And number 15, this is the last one. My strength and results are coming back way faster than I thought they would. And Paul has said this to me so many times when I was in my accident. He said, like, once you start working out again, it'll come back to you so fast. And I didn't believe him, which is funny because he's usually right about these things. But it's true. I feel like I'm already almost at the weight I was when I finished 75 hard the first time. And I feel like my muscles are coming back. I'm getting little baby abs and my arms are getting muscular again. And I'm lifting way heavier. I'm running way farther and faster. And this came back so quickly. So it's true that when you build strength and endurance and you take a break and maybe you gain weight back or you lose your muscle, once you start again, it's way easier to come back. It's not starting from scratch. I have that in my tool belt already. My body has already built this muscle before, so it's much easier to come back. So I'm very happy about that because I was a little bit worried. I felt like I had such a long way to go because I had gained weight and lost a lot of muscle when I was recovering from my injury. But I feel like I'm almost at the place I was when I finished 75 hard the first time. Not quite, but almost. And I still have so much time left. I'm only on day 40 of 75 hard. So I have so much more days to go and beyond that. So I'm excited to see what my body can do in the next month or so. So those are all the lessons that I've learned so far, halfway through 75 hard, and I'm feeling so good. I'm so excited to see what this program can do for me and what lessons I'll learn in the second half of 75 hard. So as always, if you have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram at growthroughit.pod. If you have specific 75 hard questions, I'd love to hear them, or you can just generally ask any questions. You can also use the link in the show notes to anonymously ask questions or suggest a future topic idea. If you enjoy this podcast, I would be so grateful if you would leave a rating or review and follow or subscribe and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. Thank you so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.